convince him to stop watching the news. And he still thanks me for it. He's like, I'm so much happier now that I don't look at that stuff anymore. So I could only hope that people get to a certain point where they realize, I don't know, that their own peace of mind is actually more important than thinking they need to stay up on things because something might happen that they're afraid. There is
Sure.
a point.
Or you change the premise where it doesn't mean you have to turn it off. It just means you don't react to it immediately. You take time to process the information.
Well,
And
that you need an analytical person for that, Tim. And I'm sorry to say, I don't think the majority are very analytical.
well, the thing is, they haven't been taught to be. They're selectively analytical. Like
That's
there
good.
are
That's
people
true.
who can do, there are surgeons out there, people, the sharpest minds, steadiest hands, most practiced surgeons out there who believe all the fake BS. And it's not that there's anything wrong with them. It's just a matter of, I think they have accepted a few faulty starting points for how they process information in the modern world, and it's by design. We're born into a matrix, and people can't see it because they were born into it. And this is why I use the phrase off world stage media. Until you step off the world stage, you can't see it for what it is, objectively, and look at the actual patterning and the storytelling.
Absolutely. No, it's totally true. You have to take a step back to look at the whole picture without being triggered. So that's key.
Yep.
You have to be objective, look at it, and look at, like, I was just thinking about, because I have a couple of people I talk to, and they poo-poo, stuff like the flat Earth stuff, and it's just like, all right, so tell me why people can say the craziest wild.
Disruptor it involves entertaining a hypothetical. And that's a
Yep.
dangerous step. I mean, you don't even, I mean, imagine like you would never entertain certain hypotheticals that would cause you to question everything that you thought you knew about a loved one. It's a painful
Well,
thing.
not only that, but you've got a point, is that there actually is something that they're hiding. There's something going on here that we don't know.
True.
And it probably has something to do with the space program, too.
You know what? That's one thing we can all agree on. Flat, round, oblate, spheroid. They're hiding something because what they've shown us is cartoon and CGI. Like that much is obvious to anybody paying attention. And I'm more interested not in proving that they're lying to their believers, but in finding out what's behind those lies. What are they covering up for? That's where my interest is.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Well,
Awesome.
hey, thank you for caling. It's
Okay.
been about 42 minutes. Appreciate the call as
Hey,
always.
that was a nice discussion. I enjoyed that.
Awesome, me too, and I think all the callers as well. Appreciate it as always. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too, Tim. Good night.
All right, I think I have a voicemail to address here. Let me go ahead and play this.
Hey, just piggybacking off of great conversation last night with Lynn. I wanted to reflect on the conversation she had really quickly with the 20-year-old bartender or 21-year-old bartender who, as an example, that the younger generations will typically believe that the psyop was a psyop. So I'm wondering if it's proximity, if you can reflect really quickly on the proximity to the psyop. For instance, military personnel or people in the neighborhood of Watertown, Massachusetts, with the Boston bombing and stuff like that. They will typically believe, the psyop better, right? Whereas someone who was born, in comparison, someone born, after 9/11, looking back, they'll, see, oh yeah, that how,